All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Coley. I'm the coordinator of student services here in Newport Mesa. And I am here with Caitlin Painter from
Hi,
Feel Good Beauty Studios. Thank you for joining us today.
for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited too. I can't wait. So during the pandemic, Caitlin became a business owner and opened her amazing little studio in Long Beach. She has years, and as I was told, maybe even decades worth of experience in the cosmetics and beauty industry, and is known for her natural approach and commitment to seeing and encouraging the inner beauty in every little thing. So her favorite feel-good song is Wildflowers by Dolly Parton and Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. So that's such a great way to get us started. So Caitlin, thank you again for being here, and I'm
Sure.
excited to get going. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. That's a lovely intro. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's true though, I really do focus on natural beauty and, self-care. So that's kind of why I think that I'm here today, is to kind of dive a little bit deeper on self-care and how it's attainable, right? So we're going to do two really big things today that I think have really, even though they're small things that you can do for yourself, they have huge benefits for your positive mental health. So we're gonna do a face mask today from some ingredients in your kitchen, some sugar. I'm gonna do an avocado. And then after that, we'll do a facial massage to kind of stimulate the blood flow in the face, and has so many other benefits from stress relief and things like that. So before I get started on the face mask and jump right into that, I want to make sure everyone has a clean face. So if you have any makeup on or have anything on your face that you feel like you don't want to rub around, if you want to wash your face really quickly, that would be really helpful. We want to start with a fresh, clean slate. So while you're getting ready for your clean face here, I just kind of want to tell you guys a little bit more in depth about self-care and why it's important, because I think that self-care, the phrase, has such a huge kind of following, and it's really popular on social media, and it just kind of gets thrown around. But in reality, self-care is so important, right? It's so important to have that positive relationship with yourself, and it's important to nurture it consistently. So I just kind of want to explain like the actual definition and what it means to me, and how you can take that self-care and do it for yourself. So like the definition of self-care is, it's a general term that describes everything that you do deliberately for your mental health, for your physical and emotional well-being, right? So that's your deliberate choice that you make for yourself. That's the actual definition. But to me, my personal definition, I think that it is a kind of an act of kindness for yourself, right? So it's a random act of kindness for yourself, and it's an acknowledgement that you are deserving of something good. So if you act on it and you treat yourself, and I personally like to pamper myself. To me, that's the easiest attainable way to treat myself to something good. That's acknowledging that you're deserving. And that's all that's doing, is cultivating positive energy and a positive relationship with yourself. And it's proven that it helps boost your mood, and it helps boost your self-confidence. So self-love, not the super popular phrase, but the actual act of self-love and pampering yourself, is proven to nourish your relationship with yourself, right? And I don't know, I've been doing this for so long, and it's not something that I've always done, but once I did start to do it and learn more about different ways to do it, it just really took off for me. So I try really hard to share all of the different ways that you can nourish yourself physically, right? Because that's what self-care is. It's not just saying or thinking or being absent-minded of, oh, I like myself. That's a very casual way to do it. But in reality, if you physically touch yourself, hug yourself, massage your face, or do things like that perfect definition, you deliberately make a choice to care for yourself, It's the physical act of doing that that really nourishes you. I have found that the best analogy for why self-care is important, there are so many studies of why, but to me, it's that analogy that you are a cup, right? And you can't pour from an empty cup. So the more that you fill your cup with positive energy, the more positive energy you have to pour out. So that is the whole point, right? Is to fill your cup. So if you and yourself and you're one big old cup, you have to fill it. Otherwise, you don't have any energy to expel. And that's what we do all day. You start your day, and then the entire day, you're just expelling and expelling energy. And if you don't have any to begin with, and you don't keep refilling yourself, where are you pouring from? You know? So to me, that is the easiest way to kind of explain why it's important. Besides, you know, the epitome of Feel Good Beauty Studios is it simply just feels good. So we could talk all day about the actual definition, and you know, there's so many different scientific reasons why it's good for your psychological mental health, but in reality, it also just feels good. And I think that that is just as important, you know? Okay, so let's jump into the face mask. I hope that my somewhat long definition of why I love self-care gave you some time to clean your face. So let's do a supply check. So let's make sure that we have everything that we need to make your face mask, okay? So we need to have your clean face, right? You need to have a base. So I am gonna do avocado. You can also do banana, up to you. I have my avocado already smashed up here so that I'm really nice and ready, okay? And then we need our moisture. So I'm gonna use coconut oil. It, you know, it comes like this, but you can use anything like grapeseed oil or olive oil, whatever you have available to you works.
You know, Caitlin, I'm gonna pause your video really quick and try resetting it. It's a little delayed for some reason. So let me try stopping your video and let me try putting you back on. Let me see if that helps to kind of like reset us a little bit. There we go. Okay, better. Perfect.
Okay. We're back.
We're back.
Now we're back. Okay, perfect. So we left off on the oil. So the oil, it can be anything, right? So it can be coconut oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil, whatever oil that you have attainable to you. Go lightly with the oil, you guys, just because it creates such a slip. And the goal for the mask is for it to stick to your face, okay? So use a very small amount of the oil, whatever you may use. Next, we have our exfoliant. So I'm gonna use brown sugar. I personally like brown sugar, but any kind of sugar works. You can use sugar in the raw, you can use just regular powdered sugar probably wouldn't work. You want the granule, right? Or you can use oatmeal. So whatever 3 things that you have in your mixture that you have prepared for this, that's your own customized little recipe, which I think is also kind of the coolest part about the homemade face mask. It's fast. You always have something in your kitchen to do it with. Even if you don't do all 3 ingredients and you just do 1, it's better than doing none, right? So if you really like this kind of self-care, because there's so many different options out there for you, you can always look up what ingredients are specifically beneficial for you and your skin. So if you have an oily skin type or a dry skin type, or you're prone to redness, or you have an acne prone face, there are all sorts of different things out there specifically for you. And if you just do a little bit of research, you can find your perfect recipe, right? So I did today a combination of things that are a little bit universal, so they're good for everyone. Typically when I am talking to a larger group of people on the face mask ingredients, I just want to kind of make sure that we don't choose ingredients that would be bad. So one ingredient to stick away from is lemon. So you always think like, ooh, you know, lemon is refreshing and it might be, you know, you think of it as clean, but in reality, your skin is so soft and sensitive that you could potentially burn your face a little bit. not in like a bad way, but in a very, very light skincare kind of way. So stick to ingredients that are really soft for the skin. And if you're unsure, I always suggest just looking it up just to be positive, okay? So we don't wanna put anything on the skin if you're not totally sure that it's gonna be safe for you, okay? So I'm gonna bring all my little things here. I guess you can't see, but so I have my sugar, my avocado, and my coconut oil. So let's mash up our base. I hope you guys are down to get just like a tiny bit messy. Just a little bit though. It's just smashed avocado on your face, you know, just a little messy. Okay. So, and if you've got the extra kind of tools like the paintbrush or the cucumber and stuff, that works as well. I like to use my hands just because less dishes are great, right? So if you have a brush, don't forget to wash it after because I always forget. Okay, so I'm gonna take, I always make too much too. So disclaimer, if you make too much, that's okay. But we're only gonna use a little bit on the face. So here is the avocado one. I'm going to add, this is 1 full spoonful of coconut oil, okay? I'm gonna take half of it. I'm not even gonna do the whole. I'm just gonna drop half of that coconut oil into the mask and kind of mix it around. So avocado is super rich with moisturizing nutrients, and obviously so is coconut oil. I have really dry skin, so I love using coconut oil when I'm doing these. All right, so now since I use so much avocado, per usual, I'm going to pour kind of a lot of the brown sugar in, right? So just so you can kind of visually see here, I might pour it everywhere, but that's okay. Okay, so that was a whole ramekin. So now it looks like this, and I'm going to mix it up. So if you're pouring your oatmeal into your banana mixture or your sugar into your avocado or any combination of the three, the idea is to get more of a paste, right? You really want to make sure that it's nice and thick so that it doesn't slip off the face. So I can already tell. So funny. I love how it goes from like this beautiful green color to this like very brown green color. So even if it's not very pretty, it still feels really good, okay? Okay, so mine right now, I can already tell that it's too moist, but it's because I had so much avocado. So I'm just gonna take a scoop of this and mix it with the brown sugar because I really want it to be nice and thick. Okay. So if you're using the oatmeal as well, the oatmeal is going to kind of soften and kind of get a little bit more kind of ground up as you mix it, and that's a good thing. You just don't want to mix so much that it turns into a liquid. Oh, this is the perfect consistency. All right. Beautiful. Let me show you what this looks like. All right. Okay, so can you see this consistency, right? So I can do this. It's not totally slipping until now, right? So that just shows that it has like a little bit of stick, okay? Okay, is everyone ready? Let's say yes.
I can't wait.
Okay, this is where it gets a little bit messy, you guys. And I don't understand, I've never thought of avocado and brown sugar being delicious, but it smells really good. Which is another thing, right? So when you're like, the goal of this, the whole goal of nourishing yourself is to stimulate positivity. And one way to do that is through your senses. So now that we're gonna touch and it smells good, we're already stimulating those two senses. That's only gonna generate positive energy. So I have this all over my fingers. Okay. Right? So everybody get their little mixture on their fingers. I probably shouldn't have worn a white shirt, but okay. And then I'm just going to start at my chin. and go upward towards my cheeks. One thing to be careful of, I wouldn't go too close to your eyes, just in case, right? Just in case it gets a little bit thick and it slips around. I really want to make sure that it doesn't get into my eyelashes, because it's just a little bit harder to wash out. And I don't know if you've ever gotten avocado in your eye. It doesn't feel great. So just be cautious, okay? How do we look? Beautiful?
Looking so good, so good.
I hope you guys feel really beautiful through this process, but you know what? It's not about the beauty in this entire thing. The whole point is the sensory stimulation, right? So really the point is about making contact with yourself, physical contact with yourself, and being present with yourself. Has nothing to really do with, of course, the benefits of a face mask are great. It's nice to have soft glowing skin. It's nice to have good skin. It's nice to feel pretty, but really the whole purpose of this face mask is to connect with yourself and to connect with your senses. Okay? Let's get the top of the lip. Why not? Okay. Beautiful. I wish I could see how all of you guys are looking with oatmeal or banana on your face, but I'll just have to do. Okay, so now that your mixture is on your face, we're gonna leave it on there for a couple minutes. You really want the moisture to kind of soak in. Of course, it's gonna slip, wherever it's slipping, just kind of push it back in. Okay, so now that your face mask is on your face, kind of like what I was saying about, it's not necessarily getting your skin to look good, even though that is great. The act of doing a self-care ritual like this is to connect with yourself. So in the 3 to 5 minutes, however long that you want to leave your face mask on, you can do anything more to kind of connect with yourself. I try really hard to stay off my phone. I try really hard to not get distracted or go on my computer or things like that. I try really hard to spend the time with myself and staying present, which 3 minutes now, when we're so go, 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 it feels like 20 minutes. It's crazy. And I'm like, oh, 10 seconds have passed. Okay. You know, so if you start to train yourself to really be comfortable with sitting in, whether it's silence or you put on your favorite song, like I was saying, it's Dolly Parton. However you want to spend those 3 minutes, if you kind of dive deep on what would make you personally feel good, is something that I think that everyone should kind of participate in within those 3 to 5 minutes. Something very specific that I wanted to share with you guys, because I have found such amazing benefits from that, I wish everyone would do it. I'm a firm believer in journaling. I think that it makes a huge positive impact, and it's easy, right? Like it's so easy to just, I have this by my bed, I have one in my office, and I also have one at my vanity for when I'm getting ready. I will journal, I will just write notes. It just, again, when you go back to my definition of self-care, it's that acknowledgement that you're deserving. And what better way to acknowledge that you're deserving of something good than writing it down, right? That's to me is key. So there's so many different ways that you can journal. So if you have your journal with you as part of the extra supplies on that supply list, I want you to pull it out, and you can write anything in this time, right? There is no rhyme or reason to it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just jotting things down. That to me is the best way to journal, is to remove the stress from it, okay? So I personally, in this moment, when I'm doing these things to keep present with myself, I like to write down positive affirmations about me, you know? Get cheesy with it. That's the whole point in self-care, is to get as cheesy as you possibly can with loving yourself. So I personally like to do, I write down 3 positive affirmations about myself. So let's try that. I'm gonna look at the clock here. I'm gonna write 3 down for myself. And if you have your journal, maybe write down 3 for yourself as well. And I hope that in the future, you try something like this because it's quick and it's really easy, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna do mine while you guys do yours. Okay. So sometimes, especially when I do this a lot, I run out. Like I like totally run out of things that I want to say. And that's okay. I think that the more that you put pressure on things like this, you know, you're taking the joy out of it. It should be kind of an organic thing where you're spending time with yourself and it doesn't need to be so serious. So even if you're just yelling into the mirror, I love you, sure, right? Like anything that you're doing to deliberately action wise love yourself is going to be beneficial. Okay. So I'll share one with you guys. So I wrote down on this notepad here, the first one that I wrote down was, I love my work. And that was on the tip of my brain, of course, because I'm here sharing this with you guys with avocado on my face. And as silly as that is, it makes me feel really good to be able to share these things with people. Encouraging people to act on self-love is so important to me that I find true fulfillment from it. So that's my one on my whole sheet of things here that I always do. I hope that you guys enjoyed that a little bit. So I'm going to wash this off. If you guys have your washcloth with you, or if you have a face wipe, those work as well, but sometimes you have to get the face wipe a little bit wet, okay? It's funny, I feel like that was exactly 3 minutes, but you guys can set for as long as you want, you know? If you feel as though 5 minutes works, or if you get antsy at 1 minute, it's totally understandable. But again, it's not the logistics or the specific part of any of this. It's just taking the time to spend time with yourself, okay? Yeah, and if you put pressure as you're removing, it removes a lot easier than kind of rubbing around.
Well, I was gonna say that I love this too, because like you mentioned before, it's all ingredients that you already have most likely in your home. And I can say, like, as a mom, like I don't have a lot of time, but like the fact that I could like mix this together, put it on my face, like 3 minutes, take a few minutes to like decompress, self-reflect, like this feels like a really manageable like routine that I could set for myself, because it doesn't take a ton of time and there's so many benefits to it.
Yeah, and like obviously you're getting a real benefit from the mask. It's actually moisturizing your skin. It's actually exfoliating that dead skin off. So not only are you getting real benefits from the skincare, you're getting mental benefits just from taking the time to do it.
Yeah.
And the hardest part with some of these like self-care things that you see on social media is you're spending so much time and energy to get to that place when in reality that steals that moment, right? It should be easy, it should be attainable, but also any way that you can do it is great.
Right. Well, and it's like, even, like, okay, well, why don't you go schedule yourself a massage or go schedule a facial? Like, when am I going to do that? Like, this is something like I can do, like, I love to do that to treat myself, but like, if I want to create like a real routine for myself, like this is something that I can do at night after the kids go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like it's something that's super easy and I can do it on my own schedule in my own time.
Yeah. And the best part about it is it's always changing, right? So today I'm doing avocado and sugar, but let's say in the summer and I am really dry and I'm a little bit sunburnt and I want to do yogurt and vitamin E.
Mhm.
That's going to be even more beneficial to specifically what I'm doing. So you don't get tired of it, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
doing the same repetitive thing sometimes, it doesn't stimulate you the same way that kind of changing it up all of the time really does. And that is the key benefit here, is that you're stimulating your senses,
I love
spending
it.
time with yourself. Okay. I definitely still have some sugar on my face. So I'm going to do one more little wipe here. I didn't mean for everything to match, but it does.
It's very coordinated.
Beautiful green. And I hope that whatever you are removing with, just make sure if you soak it right after this in some warm water, it should come right out, okay? Okay, so now we all have a clean face. A very exfoliated, clean face, maybe a little sticky, okay? So we're gonna move right on to the face massage, which for how much I love the face mask, just imagine I love the face massage even more. Face massage is like just so beneficial. It's been around forever. It's been a part of Chinese medicine for a really long time. Facial reflexology is a big thing. And it's known that you have meridian lines on your face that stimulate blood flow in your face, and they're connected to other organs in your body. So without getting into the nitty-gritty details of the science of your face, just know that just by touching your face and loving on your face with clean hands, by the way, always have clean hands, you really are just kind of stimulating and hugging like your whole body. How crazy is that? If you massage these parts of your body, you're actually stimulating like inside of your body. That's great. Why wouldn't you do that? So I'm gonna grab I personally use Skin Food. I have a trend here. So this is called Skin Food, but it's actually just a moisturizer that I get at Target. And it's really, really rich. So it's like more of like a balm. So whatever moisturizer, I think that I had you guys get any kind of an oil or moisturizer that you personally use, right? And there's no wrong one. You can use any kind of moisturizer that you would normally use on your face. So if you just apply it, typically two, there's no wrong way to put moisturizer on, but when you're doing a facial massage, if you go from the center of your face outward, that is what is just kind of releasing that energy, right? I'm sure you may have seen this online, but people do this, they like kind of smack their face just to get things going. But when you're applying your moisturizer, use a generous amount just for what we're doing right now, okay? So I'm gonna do even more, but I'm also really dry. You might not need this much. You just really wanna make sure that you have a lot of slip on your face so that as you're massaging, you don't pull on your skin, right? So test it out, go like this, make sure you slip right off. But if you do this and you pull, you really wanna just add a little bit more moisturizer, okay?
And I want to do this so badly with you. I can feel my faces, even though I've got moisturizer on, it is so dry.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hold off, but I'm gonna do it later.
And you know what, you guys, even though I'm going to show you a couple right now, this is everywhere. So you can look up all sorts of different ways to massage your face. Again, that's catered to you and your specific needs. There's not one wrong or right way to do this. And there's so many different, oh my gosh, there's so many different ways, right? So you can look this up later and just look up facial massage or facial reflexology. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. So I'm going to show you a way to use your fingers, and I'm going to show you a way to use a spoon. So there are stone tools available that are made of like rose quartz and jade and such beautiful things. But in reality, a spoon is fine. You could use a spoon. You can use all the tools that you have in your kitchen. Just think of your kitchen as your little nourishment cabinet, right? There's so many different things in your kitchen that you can take and use for yourself that also nourish you. You don't just have to ingest, you know, you really want to nourish yourself topically as well. So I'm gonna warm up the spoon a little bit. I just kind of grab it I'm gonna maybe put it in my lap just so that it's really nice and warm. So I'm gonna put it in my lap and we're gonna start with the finger massage, okay? So, gosh, I have so many favorites. Let's do the center of the face first, okay? So if you put 2 fists up like this, and you put your pointer fingers up and kind of curl them back so that you have just your knuckle like this, right? Okay, so you're gonna start right here. Let me lean a little closer so you guys can really see me here. Okay, so like this, right? So you're gonna put pressure right on each side of your nose like this and go underneath your cheek out towards your nose. Like I immediately feel better from just one. Okay. So again, so anytime that you're massaging your face, as long as you start in the center and release that energy, just all of that tension in your face out, okay? So I'm putting my knuckles outside of my nose, underneath my cheeks, out by my ears, and that's it. And you can do this. I feel like people will walk by my studio. You can see the window here, and I'm just sitting in here doing this. I look a little bit crazy, but you guys, it just really feels so good. And you can do it anytime. You could do it in your car, you know, parked, doesn't matter. So this is something that really, really is beneficial for releasing tension in the face, which I think is a huge, huge deal, okay? So your face and your head and your neck, all of this area is a focal point for tension. So if you start here and release, or start on your chin and release, this jaw tension one is a huge one. People hold a lot of tension in their jaw. Okay, so I'm gonna turn sideways for you guys. So you start at your chin right here and go underneath your jawbone to your ear and all the way up. Keep going. My earrings get in the way, but you know. So all of that tension right in here starts to get released. Okay, so those 2 knuckles here underneath your cheeks or from your chin to your ear. Okay, so that's with your fingers. So you could do the exact same thing on your chin with your spoon, and you're going to use the back side of your spoon like this. So if you take your spoon sideways like this, press on your chin and just bring the spoon to your ear. It just puts a different kind of pressure on the tension in your jaw. I keep one at my desk because I do this all day long. Okay, this is really, really good. But another one that is very easy, and you can do this with your fingers or the spoon, if you start on the top of your eyebrow and move up towards your forehead or up towards your hairline, right? And you can go to the side of the eyebrow like this. I think that slower is better as well. So if you start and you just start like going like this, like that's not really doing anything, right? Like slow and steady wins the race. And again, same thing with the face mask. It's about spending time with yourself. So even if you feel like you might not have the technique down, you just need to practice. The whole point in this is to connect with yourself, which is really why you do self-care rituals in the first place. Obviously, they have real benefits that help you look good or feel good or all those things, but the whole idea is to connect. So even though today we did face massage and a face mask, don't forget that anything that you choose to do deliberately for yourself is considered a self-care ritual. Whether it's reading a book, eating an apple, going for a walk, you know, who knows, wearing your favorite socks. If you choose that day, that is my form of self-care, then that is your form of self-care, okay? So whenever you're feeling tense or you haven't done anything for yourself that day, just remember that you could very easily just go like this and relieve some tension. It's just really easy. And if you're wearing makeup, which I typically am at work, if you take your fingertips like this and you start on your temples and you just kind of tap on your forehead, you know, people walk by, they probably think I'm pretty mad, but in reality, I'm just releasing all that tension that's in my forehead, you know? And if you keep a spoon in your purse, good for you. Or your laptop bag, whatever you carry with you, keep a spoon just so that anytime that you're just feeling like you haven't taken a moment for yourself and you need to fill your cup up, right? Because you're the cup. And if you feel empty and you just take a minute to kind of close your eyes and just release that tension, that in itself is self-care, right? All right.
So like honestly, I'm feeling like so relaxed. I really just cannot even wait to get home and wash my face
Yep.
and do a little mask and do a little, self-care for myself today. It's been a busy week and it's Mother's Day tomorrow, so I get some time.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're so
And
welcome.
this has been amazing. I love this. It's been so great and helpful. And I think that this is just going to be such a great thing for people to use moving forward. I'm so glad that we recorded it so that people can watch it over and over again. So thank you so much for this and for your time and these wonderful suggestions. We really appreciate it.
Of course. I hope you guys enjoy this in the future. And again, no matter what it is you do, I just take a minute for yourself. It really does help.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.